Here's another photo I took on our trip out west to the Black Hills and the Badlands and Mount Rushmore. Last week's was from agate fossil beds, and it was kind of an exercise in capturing perspective of a broad scene with a not super wide camera lens. Also, from a compositional standpoint, how do you compose a picture, regardless of your focal length, that illustrates perspective? What do you do to capture this sense of scale? Last week, I wasn't super successful, I don't think, mostly because the subject that I put in the foreground was this yellow flower, but then there was a lot of yellow flowers in the shot, and so it didn't really feel like you had a sense of subject isolation, like your eye wasn't really drawn to that one flower. And then as a result, it just kind of all meshed together. This one, though, does a much better job, in my opinion, of capturing, I guess, a sense of perspective and scale because of the way I aligned up a couple things. The first was this stalk of grass in the foreground. That was entirely intentional on my part. In fact, I don't think I cropped this at all. If anything, I might have rotated it ever so slightly, but this is pretty much as it was shot. Shot this with my Fuji X100F, my go-to camera, and also my go-to camera on this trip. It was f8 and the shutter speed 1/220th of a second. That doesn't really matter though. The point is, I wanted the subject to be in focus and sharp, but a little bit of background blur so that you didn't lose everything. Like if I shot this at f2, the background would have been just a blurry mess with no sense of what's going on back there. As it was, the subject is in the foreground. It's pretty clear, pretty sharp, and you've got all this other grass in the foreground as well, so that you can get a sense, almost like you're laying in the grass, and it kind of places you in the shot. If you didn't have that, like if you cover up part of the shot with your fingers so that all you see is the left-hand portion and then maybe the top 2/3, it just doesn't feel as big because you don't know where you are in this shot. So that was my goal here, was to give a sense of perspective in this unique area of the country, the Badlands. It's just never been here before, so I guess that's just what I'll call it. And the other thing, though, is the lighting. You'll notice that the subject is super bright, and it's got this glow coming from the right-hand side of the setting sun. And then behind it, because the sun is setting, the background is kind of lost in shadow. Or not lost, but it's draped in shadow. And so you have this cool contrast of the subject that's almost glowing and popping out of the frame, and then the background, which is darker, and you get the sense that that there's a vast amount of space captured in this photo. Because of that, there's those distinct elements. You have that stalk of grass in the foreground. You've got the middle ground. There's several layers here, actually. Like not too far behind the grass, there's rock formations on the left that are lit up, and then behind those are more that are in shadow, and then way in the back you have even more. And you have all these contour variations in the terrain. You've got this parts that are lit, parts that are not lit. It all comes together to hopefully show a sense of scale and what it was like to be in this location in the Badlands. I had never been there before. I don't know when we'll make it back, but it was a phenomenal experience, and I hope I was able to adequately capture it here.
Yep.